Adam joins us now. Adam, thank you so much for joining the show.
Thank you for having me.
So, Adam, tell us a little bit about what you guys did. How did you first find out that this couple had lost their dog, Coulee, and tell us a little bit about the story.
Yeah, I can run you through a little bit of the time frames on the call. So it was about mid-morning, late morning. I think that's when the dog went into the crevice, and then they started the 911 response. At some point after that, and then immediately the local fire departments were dispatched to it, and kind of got there and realized that it was a somewhat complicated situation.
Explain that a little bit. Why was it complicated? I mean, because most of us think like a little crevasse you can reach down or toss a rope down and hook it up. Like, why was this so hard?
So yeah, the crevasse was about maybe 1.5 feet wide, maybe 2 feet at best, and about 30 feet straight down.
Whoa.
So it was, very difficult technical rescue situation, because a lot of times you can, with the right rope systems, you can lower somebody in and, do a pick off and pull somebody out. But there was absolutely no way we were getting any person down into this crevasse. And, even the equipment, the limitations of the equipment starts to run out after 10, 15 feet. So we had to get really creative. The family had been going through, they've been engineering a lot of really cool stuff to get some like longer sticks and ropes and that type of thing, trying to get that set up. But
we got pictures now.
If
anybody's watching on our live stream, we're cycling through some pictures of the rescue, and I assume, Adam, you must be in some of these pictures, or the Kittitas County search and rescue, along with Fire District 7, Sheriff's Office, SAR, ORV team, the Fire Department Association. All these different groups got together, and it looks like there's about 20 or 30 people on site. You guys are all in like pretty harsh weather gear. It looks like you guys are up Everest or something, and the ground is covered in snow.
And the water, the Coulee's, it's melt-off water. It's freezing water that the dog's in.
That was one of our biggest concerns. The water from just being around the edge was starting to drip, so we were worried about her going into hypothermia.
Did you guys initially think that you could just dig down to the dog? I mean, was that a consideration, or did that just feel like there's just not enough time and debris may fall on the dog?
No, that one wasn't really an option. So it's hard to see in the pictures, but the crevasse is actually made out of sandstone. So it's rock going down. So it would be quite the operation. It would be doable, but the time it would take to get the heavy equipment up there would be quite some time. We did have to. It was quite a bit of snow.
I can't imagine you guys didn't think this was just an impossible task as you looked at the problem you're trying to solve. What was finally the solution? How'd you do this?
I mean, I definitely I came up, and this is nothing that I've encountered before in my experience in emergency response and search and rescue. So when I first looked down the hill, down the crevice, I just kind of went, oh, this is something unique. So we started using some of our equipment and kind of improvising, engineering some unique stuff, and that we were getting some progress done. But the real heroes of the story is WASART, Washington State Animal Response Team. They were dispatched about the same time that a lot of the other agencies were. They're housed on the west side. And this is a lot. They've done similar rescues like this. I think this is the most unique they've had for crevasse rescue. But they came in. They had longer poles. They had a little bit better systems for trying to get a hold of the dog down there. And so those guys really came in. And by the time they got there, they came in and really set up shop. And they were the ones that got the job done. It took a lot of people working together.
And what is the basic method of this? I mean, are you putting along? I mean, I'm imagining almost like those tree limb cutters that can extend, and they have ropes attached to them.
And they harness around the pup. Is that what's going on?
Yeah. Are you guys trying to slip a rope around the dog, or how is that working?
Yeah. So none of the standard implements would actually reach that far. So we had some conduit that we ran rope through, and it created a little hook and loop system. And it was a lot of feeding rope down there and pushing it with the poles. And we had an improvised pool hook on a 30-foot improvised PVC line. So we're trying to get the lines down there and just trying to, if anyone's worked with limp rope, it's not very cooperative at best, when you're close to it. So when you're 30 feet down, trying to just hook this around a dog who doesn't necessarily want to get lassoed at the same time, that was the hardest part, is trying to get it around her. And the only part she would move would be her neck, so we could get it kind of around her head and neck area, but that's not a conducive area for trying to pull her out of the
poor dog. Yeah.
Yeah, we had to, maintain her safety. So, we had to work. And what the actual final solution was really creative that the techs from Wassart came up with is, so we were able to get one loop around her collar area, and we didn't want to. We had that to just keep a grip on her so she didn't back farther into. There was actually a pretty steep drop off behind her, so we were just making sure she didn't go farther down. And they used that existing pole and loop system to run a rope down that, and then they were able to, with different pike poles and different instruments, to then loop it just around her chest a little bit. And it was a little bit of luck, a little bit of serendipity, but we were able to hook her on there and have a safe place to just quickly yard her up before she slipped out of it.
And is it at that point, you're not trying to gingerly pull her, you're just yanking as fast as possible so she doesn't slip out?
Yeah, we had a canvas and rope system down there, but we couldn't get it underneath her. It's just the way that she was actually underneath an underhang. So she was actually partially obscured. It was a really hard situation. We could barely even see her, so we're trying to work all the stuff. And once they realized they had the rope in a safe spot where they weren't going to, worry about hurting the dog, it was one of those, like, everybody pull real fast.
You guys are also fighting daylight. I mean, the days are so short now. This happened. I mean, luckily, this was a morning walk when this happened. If this was a nighttime walk, I can't imagine that the result would have been. I mean, maybe it would have been, but it seems like it'd be much more difficult in the dark.
Yeah, we were actually setting up equipment and getting ready to call in equipment to keep on going for as long as it took. We were working with Fire District 7. They had a lot more scene lights. Wassart showed up and had scene lights. We were going to look at blowing in hot air down the crevice to keep the dog warm as best as we could. We were getting ready to set up shop all night.
What were the owners doing? Paige and Seth are the owners of Coulee. Were they just standing on site, just obviously, nervous as they might be? Yeah.
They'd been there the whole time and incredibly helpful. I don't know who was the owner and who were friends of the owners per se when we were doing the rescue, but they already had the engineered conduit with the rope that reached all the way down. They had other implements. They had lights. So they were there helping us hand in hand. If you look at all those pictures, the people in the shiny coats are the responders, and anyone that's wearing like dark colors that doesn't have reflective gear on it, that's the family and friends that were helping
community.
out.
Wow. That must have been quite a moment. What was that like when Coulee finally came up?
At that point, so I spent the first half of the day actually just like with halfway in the crevice, just trying to get the loop around. And once Wassart came, we handed over technical operations to them, and I started running more of the commands portion of it and just making sure we were logistically supplied. So I was talking with our mobile command vehicle and making sure we had resources and transportation set up. And I look over and everyone just starts cheering and the lines are being pulled up. Excuse me, sorry.
That's okay, brother.
I didn't think I was going to get emotional.
Nah, man, it's well merited. That's a phenomenal job you guys all did. It really is. And as a pet owner, anybody who's loved a pet like this, it's amazing that so many people, just professional services like yourselves and the different agencies involved here and the community, they stop at nothing. Mm-hmm. Because pets just are such important parts of our lives. I can't thank you enough for the work. I've never met these folks, never met Coulee, but thank you for the work you guys did. I know that you guys dedicated a lot of resources to doing this. Can folks make donations to these different organizations, that were involved in this rescue? Not just Kitsap Valley Fire and Rescue, but Washington State Animal Response Team. But where can folks go if they want to make sure that situations like this have the resources to pull off moves like this in the future?
Yeah, if you go to any of our websites, Kittitas County Search and Rescue is a nonprofit 501c3, so you can go through our website and there's a few different ways you can donate, and everything is tax deductible. And I'm sure Wasart is also privately, is a nonprofit. So if you go through Wasart's website, I'm sure there's avenue to donate, and it's greatly appreciated. We don't get any outside funding other than the generous support of the public, and we love doing what we do, and all the support really helps.
Well, congratulations, Adam. That's a pretty cool. I mean, that's an amazing story. How nice too that it ended in such a celebratory way. I mean, it could have gone way different. But we're looking at pictures right now. If you guys are live streaming, we got pictures of Coulee.
It would have gone way different.
Adorable little dog.
These guys, yeah.
Yeah, so cute. All right, well, that's Adam Ubar, Kittitas County Search and Rescue. Thank you so much. We really appreciate your time and great work on this.